Welcome back to my channel. I'm Megs, and today I'm going to be showing you my college scrapbook. This is an idea I had in high school when I started getting packets and postcards and letters from colleges. It was a really exciting time for me as an aspiring first-generation college student, and the mailers are really insightful because I got a glimpse into the uniqueness of every school. I got to see the types of organizations they had on campus and things that were regionally significant to their school. It was a lot more personal than you can glean from a Google search, and oftentimes there were testimonials from current students and info sections about campus traditions and on-campus research, and all of this was really exciting to me. There were a ton of schools contacting me that I had never even heard of before, so at the time I was thinking, I'm only going to apply to college once, so I always want to remember this, because at the time my junior year self hadn't explored the idea of grad school yet, so I originally intended to keep everything that I got sent in the mail. My plan was to eventually throw everything in a memories box of sorts and crack it open someday to reminisce about how far I've come in my academic journey. But as I got into my senior year, the amount of things coming in the mail just skyrocketed. I mean, every mail day I was getting 2 to 4 letters or postcards from different schools, and by the time I was a few months into senior year, I had a stack of mail about as high as my torso. At that point, it was becoming very clear that I couldn't continue to keep everything, so I would have to find out how to condense what I had or just throw everything out. And it hit me that I could make a scrapbook, so I set out to find the coolest things from each booklet and put bits and pieces here and there until eventually I had a scrapbook encapsulating everything, and as a bonus, I wouldn't have a torso-high eyesore in my room anymore. What I tried to prioritize was first off the names of the schools that were contacting me. I also really liked maps or artistic renderings of the geographical location of the schools and any landmarks that might be close by. If there were slogans or school mottos that stuck out to me or any quotes that I found inspirational, I cut those out too. Location was a big consideration for me when applying to college, so I tried to cut out the landscapes and pictures of the campuses themselves or the cityscapes around the schools. I actually did all of my college applications during the summer before my senior year of high school started, so by the time I was making this scrapbook, I already had my short list of schools, and I knew the major I chose for every school I applied to was either civil or environmental engineering. So knowing this, I also tried to find anything engineering related or anything involving environmentalism or sustainability in these packets, just so it was more tailored to my personal experience. At the time when I was applying to college, I was also hoping to do a minor in jazz studies, so I liked finding anything that was related to music or related to piano, which is the instrument that I play, just anything that could make it really personal for me. Aside from that, in terms of aesthetics, I also really enjoyed stickers. A couple of the packages I got came with school-specific stickers, which was fun. There were some packets that had interactive booklets like wheels that you can spin to reveal more stats about the school. There's a few of those I show in this video. One school even actually sent a 3D puzzle that came flat in an envelope that you had to construct to make this castle-like structure, and that was sent to me because of the fact that I was going to be an engineering major. So I actually glued that whole envelope inside the scrapbook with the puzzle inside, so I can go back and remake the puzzle whenever I want to. But those are just some of the kinds of unique things that I wanted to go back and highlight and remember. One note about scrapbooking itself, this was the very first scrapbook I ever made, so as far as gluing everything in and making sure nothing was put too close to the inner fold of the pages, I had to learn as I went along. Once I finished the whole book, I ended up popping the front and back covers off completely so that when I open the pages, I can lay everything completely flat, and I'm not going to be bending any of the pamphlets or damaging the pictures I glued in. because on some pages I did glue in entire booklets that I got from schools on my shortlist, especially if it was a booklet I got from a campus tour or say an events day I went to. That was important to me to have the whole booklet because it was an experience I had in person, but gluing in a whole booklet causes a lot of weight, and like I said earlier, can cause some images to try to bend right off the page, so that's just another reason I ended up popping the covers off. I still store the whole book with the covers on top and bottom to keep it from being damaged, but I just personally like being able to lay the pages completely flat because I think it'll last longer now, but in hindsight, just keep in mind not to glue anything too close to the inner fold or put anything particularly heavy on any one page unless you want to pop the covers off like I did. I wanted to quickly take some time to highlight some notable things I have in my scrapbook that aren't mailers from universities. I have a letter of recommendation I got from one of my high school teachers, which she decided to share with me after I committed to my school of choice. I also have pamphlets from the Questbridge program that I applied to during my junior year. I didn't end up getting in, but it was still a part of my college application process that I wanted to look back and remember. Also, I have a letter from the University of California admissions saying that I was accepted into the statewide guarantee program, basically meaning that I was in the top 9% of California high school graduates. I also have a letter from the College Board they sent me after my last sitting for the SAT, saying that I was in the top 10% nationwide of all SAT test takers. And then once I started getting near the end of the scrapbook, I purposely left space for communications I got from my shortlist schools, which included acceptance and rejection letters. But I wanted to mention all these things, one, because not all of them were shown in the video for privacy reasons, and two, because I wanted to show that I had a very holistic approach to how I represented the college application process in my book. I had both successes and quote-unquote failures because I wanted to show the whole journey and not just the things that went my way. You can see as the video is getting close to the end, I started having less material to work with, and so you see the pages getting a little bit more sparse. I didn't want to have duplicates of the schools I had already included earlier in the book, so I left it as is, but if you want wall-to-wall color and wall-to-wall pictures, you can always have duplicates or even print your own images as well. But I hope that this gives you inspiration if you are a high school student just starting to get mail, or if you're a college student who still has stuff laying around from college application season a few years ago. I think a scrapbook is a great way to encapsulate everything. I hope you enjoyed. Please subscribe as I make other college related content as well, and let me know in the comments if you have questions or video requests, or if you decide to make your own college scrapbook. Let me know how it goes. I would love to see it. Until then, see you next time.